Have you ever noticed how the first words you say to yourself when you wake up set the tone for your entire day? How they seem to color everything you see, everything you feel, everything you allow into your life. Perhaps today you woke up and before even fully opening your eyes, that familiar voice was already there. The voice that says you're not enough, that today will be difficult, that things never really change, that you're trapped in a story that's already been written. But I have something important to tell you, my dear. That voice is not you. It's just an echo, an old program running in the background. And you, in this exact moment, have the power to turn it off. You have the power to choose a new frequency, a new language, a new way of speaking to the most important person in your life, yourself. Because there's a secret held in the first hours of the morning. A secret that transformed people around the world have discovered and practice every single day. It's the moment when the doors of your subconscious are still open, when your mind hasn't yet built all its defenses, when you can plant completely new seeds in fertile soil. And these seeds have a name. They're called affirmations. No, they're not just pretty phrases. They're not positive thoughts floating in the air. Affirmations are living declarations loaded with intention that you direct to the deepest part of yourself. They are direct instructions to your subconscious, that part of you that controls 95% of your thoughts, emotions, reactions, and beliefs. And here's the truth that can change everything. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's repeated with emotion. It simply accepts what you feed it. If you feed it fear, it creates more situations that validate fear. If you feed it scarcity, it finds evidence that there isn't enough. If you feed it unworthiness, it makes you behave in ways that reinforce that belief. But when you feed it love, when you feed it possibility, when you feed it the truth that you are worthy, capable, and deserving, everything begins to reorganize. Not magically, not instantly, but through a deep and genuine reprogramming that begins in the silence of your being and expands into every area of your life. Because your thoughts aren't just reflections of reality. They are creative forces. Every thought you nurture, every word you repeat, every belief you hold, all of this is shaping the substance of your life. You're always creating. The question is, are you creating consciously, or are you letting old patterns choose for you? Let's pause for a moment. Take a deep breath with me. Place a hand over your heart if you can. Feel it beating. That heartbeat all night long without you asking. Your lungs filled with air. Your cells renewed themselves. There's an infinite intelligence taking care of you in this exact moment. And that same intelligence is waiting to hear what you have to say about yourself. So let's try something together. Let's begin to rewrite the program. Let's offer your subconscious new instructions. Instructions that align you with the life you came here to live. Repeat with me, out loud or in the silence of your heart. I am worthy of love and respect. Feel these words. Don't just think them. Feel. Let them descend from thought to chest, to your entire body. I trust in the wisdom of life. Breathe with this affirmation. Allow it to soften something inside you that always tried to control everything. I release the past with gratitude and open space for the new. Imagine, as you say this, that you're opening a window in a room that's been closed for years. Fresh air enters, light enters, space is created. I deserve prosperity, peace, and joy. You deserve. Not because you earned it, not because you proved it, but simply because you exist, because you are an expression of life, and life only wants to flourish through you. I am stronger and more capable than I imagine, and you are. You survived 100% of your worst days. You're here, breathing, trying. That's already proof of immense strength. Perhaps, as you heard these affirmations, you felt a resistance, a voice saying, "But I don't feel this. I don't believe this. This isn't true for me." And that's okay, my dear. That resistance isn't your enemy. It's just the voice of the old ego, that part of you that was conditioned to believe in limitation, in scarcity, in unworthiness. And it's resisting because it's perceiving that you're about to transcend it. You don't need to completely believe the affirmations at first. You don't need to feel that they're already true. All you need is to be willing. Willing to repeat. Willing to allow these words to touch places inside you that haven't known gentleness in a long time. Because what happens with conscious repetition is extraordinary. There's something called neuroplasticity, your brain's capacity to create new neural pathways. And every time you repeat an affirmation, you're literally creating a new road in your brain, a new route. And the more you repeat it, the stronger that road becomes, until eventually it becomes the default path. The old patterns don't disappear immediately. They lose strength. They become less accessible. And the new patterns, the patterns of love, of possibility, of deservingness, become increasingly natural. And then, without you noticing the exact moment, something changes. You're no longer trying to convince yourself. You simply know. And when you know, you act differently. And when you act differently, your life transforms. Doors that were closed begin to open. Opportunities you couldn't see become visible. Relationships change. Your health responds. Your energy flows. Because external reality is always, always a reflection of internal reality. Let me tell you something that perhaps no one has told you before. For years, maybe decades, you repeated negative affirmations without realizing it. You woke up and thought, another difficult day. You looked in the mirror and thought, I don't like myself. You faced a challenge and thought, I never succeed. These weren't just casual thoughts. They were affirmations, powerful instructions that your subconscious followed faithfully, because it doesn't judge, it doesn't question. It simply executes the program you install. If you installed the program of scarcity, it created evidence that there isn't enough. If you installed the program of rejection, it made you behave in ways that pushed people away. If you installed the program of incapability, it sabotaged your efforts before you even began. Not as punishment, not because you're flawed, but simply because that was the program running. And the good news, the news that can change absolutely everything, is this. You can rewrite the program. You can choose, consciously, to install a new code. A code based on love, on possibility, on spiritual truth, on recognition of your inherent worth. And the most powerful moment to do this is right when you wake up. Because when you wake up, when your mind is still in that soft state between sleep and waking, the barriers are low. The ego is quiet. And what you say to yourself in that moment has special weight. It has a capacity to penetrate deeper. So instead of grabbing your phone, instead of rushing to the day's worries, instead of allowing the old voice to take over, give yourself 5 minutes. Just 5 sacred minutes where you speak words of life over yourself. And perhaps you're thinking, but I've tried affirmations before. I repeated nice phrases and nothing changed. Let me tell you why. Affirmations don't work when they're just mechanical words repeated without feeling. When you say them hurriedly while doing other things, without really paying attention. When you repeat them with your mouth, but your heart is saying the opposite. Affirmations work when you speak them with intention, when you breathe with them, when you allow them to enter not just your mind, but your body, when you feel them as truth, even if you can't yet see the external evidence. It's the difference between reading a cake recipe and actually baking a cake. It's the difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So when you affirm, do it like this. Close your eyes if possible. Place a hand over your heart. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel your body. Anchor yourself in the present moment. And then, with the gentlest voice you can muster, as if you were speaking to a beloved child, as if you were comforting your best friend, as if you were planting a precious seed, say, I am loved. Pause. Breathe. Let these words descend. I am capable. Pause. Feel. I am safe. Allow this to penetrate. I trust life. Repeat as many times as you need until something inside you begins to soften, until you feel, even for just a second, that it might be true. Now let me show you something wonderful that happens when you practice this every day. Imagine there's a golden light in the center of your chest. This light has always been there, even on the darkest days, even when you couldn't feel it. It never went out. It just waited, patiently, for you to turn your attention back to it. This light is your essence. It's who you really are, beneath all the fears, all the limiting beliefs, all the programming you absorbed throughout your life. And each affirmation you repeat is like a gentle breath on that light. It begins to shine a little brighter, to expand, to illuminate areas of your life that were in shadow. As this light grows, you perceive something extraordinary. The old ego, the one that believed it was small, unworthy, incapable, is dissolving, not with effort, not with struggle, but simply because light cannot coexist with darkness. When you turn on the lamp in a dark room, you don't need to fight the darkness. The darkness simply disappears. It has no substance. It was only the absence of light. And the same happens with limiting beliefs. They have no real substance. They're just the absence of truth. And when you begin to feed the truth, through your affirmations, through the love you direct toward yourself, they naturally dissolve. You know what I find most beautiful about all of this? It's that you don't need to become someone new. You don't need to fix yourself. You're not broken. You never were. What you need is just to remember. Remember who you always were, beneath all the layers of conditioning. Remember the light that was always lit. Remember the love that always existed in the center of your being. Affirmations are just tools of remembrance. They don't create something from nothing. They reveal what was always there. And when you remember, when you reconnect with that truth, everything changes. Not because the external world changes first, but because you change internally. And then, naturally, inevitably, the external world begins to reflect that change. You begin to attract different people, different opportunities, different experiences. Not because you're manifesting in the magical sense, but because you're vibrating at a different frequency. You're emanating a different energy, and life responds to that. Think of a radio station. If you're tuned to a frequency of fear, you pick up fear programs. If you tune to a frequency of love, you pick up love programs. The frequency was always there. You just needed to choose where to tune in. And your affirmations are the dial. They adjust your tuning. They allow you to access higher, more loving, more expansive frequencies. So, my dear, let me ask you a question. What do you want to create in your life? Not what you think you should want, not what others expect of you, but what your heart truly desires. Do you want to feel peace? Do you want to feel love? Do you want to feel prosperity? Do you want to feel purpose? Whatever the answer, there's an affirmation that can help you get there. If you want peace, affirm, I am at peace. I choose calm in the midst of chaos. I trust in the rhythm of life. If you want love, affirm, I am loved. I attract love easily. I am worthy of healthy and nourishing relationships. If you want prosperity, affirm, I am prosperous. Abundance flows easily to me. I deserve wealth in all areas of my life. If you want purpose, affirm, I am aligned with my purpose. Every step I take leads me in the right direction. I trust my journey. Choose the affirmations that resonate with you. Write them down. Stick them on your bathroom mirror. Set them as reminders on your phone. And repeat them every day, especially when you wake up. Not in a hurry, not mechanically, but with intention, with feeling, with the awareness that every word you say is shaping the reality you're going to live. And if at some point you feel it's too late, that you've already wasted too much time, that you should have started years ago, listen to me carefully. It's never too late to start again. It's never too late to choose a new narrative. It's never too late to plant a new seed. You can be 20, 40, 60, 80 years old. It doesn't matter. The right time is always now, because now is the only moment you truly have. The past is gone. The future hasn't arrived yet. Only this moment exists. And in this moment, you have the power to choose. Choose a new word, a new belief, a new way of seeing yourself. And that choice, made now, has the power to transform all the rest of your life. There's something else I want you to know. You're not alone on this journey. There's a greater force working through you. Some call it the universe. Others call it God. Others call it energy. Others call it life. The name doesn't matter. What matters is knowing that you're sustained by something infinitely greater than you. And that force wants you to flourish. It wants you to be happy, prosperous, fulfilled. Not because you need to deserve it. Not because you need to prove something. But simply because that's the nature of life. To expand, to grow, to flourish. When you affirm, you're not doing it alone. You're co-creating with the universe. You're saying, I'm ready. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to align with the good that's trying to flow through me. And the universe responds. It always responds. Maybe not in the way you expected. Maybe not in the time you planned. But always, always in a way that serves your highest good. So trust. Trust the process. Trust your affirmations. Trust your capacity to transform. And trust that you're supported by a loving intelligence that never abandons you. Now, let's talk about gratitude. Because something powerful happens when you combine affirmations with gratitude. Gratitude is like a miracle multiplier. It opens doors. It elevates your frequency. It makes you perceive the good that already exists in your life. And the more you perceive, the more it grows. So after you do your affirmations in the morning, take a moment to give thanks. Give thanks for the simple fact of being alive. Give thanks for the air you breathe. Give thanks for the bed where you slept. Give thanks for the lessons you learned. Give thanks for the difficulties that strengthened you. Give thanks for the blessings that are still on their way. And when you do this, when you combine affirmation with gratitude, you're creating an energetic field so powerful that life has no choice but to respond. You're saying, I recognize the good, I celebrate the good, and I'm ready to receive more. And the universe says, yes, here it is. My dear, we're coming to the end of this journey together. But actually, this isn't an ending. It's a beginning. The beginning of a new way of living. A new way of speaking to yourself. A new way of creating your reality. You have in your hands, or rather in your voice, one of the most extraordinary powers that exists. The power to rewrite your story through the words you choose to say. Don't underestimate that power. Don't treat it lightly, but don't make it heavy either. Make it a light, loving, sacred practice. A gift you give yourself every day. When you wake up tomorrow, before doing anything else, place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath and say, I am worthy, I am loved, I am capable, I trust, I am grateful. And then observe. Observe how your day unfolds differently. Observe how you react differently. Observe how opportunities begin to appear. Observe how you begin to feel different about yourself. And continue. Day after day, week after week, month after month, because this is the journey. It's not an instant transformation. It's a gentle, gradual, profound transformation. It's a reprogramming that happens in the silence, in the gentle repetitions, in the loving constancy. And I promise you, if you do this, your life will change. Not because I say so, but because that's how it works. It's a universal law. You reap what you sow. And when you plant love, you harvest love. When you plant possibility, you harvest possibility. When you plant truth, you harvest freedom. So go rewrite your reality. Go activate the power that was always yours. Go speak words of life over yourself. And know that in doing so, you're honoring not just yourself, but all the force of life that flows through you. You are loved. You are capable. You are enough. And life is waiting to show you how true this is. So be it, and so it is.